let's all take our luggage with us to heaven. But
Yeah.
sometimes there's seriously sick and dangerous people that
Oh, yeah.
that you've come up across.
That happened to me too, Kat. One time, I did a reading for a man, and all my readings are true. I used my animal spirits and all that. And I said, and he liked this woman, and he was madly in love with her, and he was buying her cars, and he was doing this, and he wanted to marry. I told him, I said, you're pushing this lady too far. The reading shows that you're pushing the lady too far. You need to back off and let this thing happen naturally. You cannot buy her love. The spirits are telling me this. And she said, well, I said, hear me what I'm saying. You do what I tell do what the reading says. Okay. He leaves. About 3 days later, there's a knock at the door, and people. I tell people make an appointment when they want to see. And open up the door. He's standing there, and he's loaded, and he's swaying back and forth. She broke up with me. It's your fault. I said, well, what are you talking about? My girlfriend broke up with me. I told her I was wanting to marry her, and we were going to go to here, and I'm going to. And she told me to take a hike. It's your fault. I said, how is it my fault? Well, I said, I told you. What did the reading say? Do not. Well, you ain't going to do nothing but get off my front door. I'm going to call the police, or something's going to happen that you don't want to happen. Back off my front door, off my porch. I'm going to get you. I know you ain't going to get me. Do not come back to my house. Do not call me. Do not let me see you on my property. He never did come back, but it could have been a situation where it could have been went bad.
Absolutely, that could.
Yeah.
Especially with the alcohol involved.
Yeah. People don't realize I do a reading for them, and I tell them what the reading is. They take the reading however they want to. They can either follow the suggestion of the reading or what's going to happen, or they're going to go the opposite way. But a lot of people go the opposite way. When it doesn't turn out right, they want to come and blame me for it. But I tell them, when I give you this reading, you take it and do what you want to with it. After you get up and leave my house or leave my table, I shut down. I don't remember it. I've had people come back 3 months ago. You remember when you said this? And I know. People usually tape my reading, or they write notes down. Well, you remember when you told me? No, because I don't even remember you. Sometimes I don't even remember them, because when I shut down, that's it. I don't remember the reading anymore after that.
That's interesting. And, you're not the only person who does what you do reading-wise who says that. It's like you can't retain it because there's so much else that's going to be coming through.
Yeah, I don't. When I'm done with the reading and I shut down, that's it. The next person comes along, that's their reading. I shut down. They might come back or call me several months later, or come back the following year if I'm at an event. Say, well, remember when you said this and that? No, I don't remember. You sure you don't remember something? No. Did you write it down? Did you? Is it on? Did you tape it? No. But I thought you would remember. No, I don't. I don't remember what I said to you.
That's why Teresa Caputo gives them the tape. I
Yeah.
mean, it's because you don't retain it. If that's what you're doing, then I don't know a single person who retains their readings like that.
Well, when you make spiritual contact, with their spirits, either if I'm doing a spirit animal reading, or I'm doing I connect with a loved one on the other side. When that reading's over and I focus out, that person goes away. That's the messenger that came in and left. I don't say hang around. If I did, it would be just like ghosts. I'd be sitting in the chair and they'd be standing around me waiting to get messages. No, I clear out. I tell them thank you. Move back.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
You have to clear the energy from around you.
Yeah, that's how you get attachments. People, again, if you're a medium and you're doing a reading and you don't have to know how to protect yourself and thank the spirits and tell them to back off, you know, a lot of times if you leave the door open, they're going to stay.
Yes. I have, well, Lori, who, by the way, happy birthday again to psychic Lori Johnson.
Happy birthday, Lori.
So, but she looks at me all the time and she's just like, why do you have so many spirits with you? I was like, I don't know. I don't ask them to be here. I ask people to give me space. But we have another question from Chris, and he wanted to know, do you take any other precautions when doing a reading, like wearing gloves or something?
Kat, you're breaking up.
He wanted to know if you take any other precautions when you're doing a reading.
Yeah, you do. You have to have you do take precautions. I do. And a lot of times, especially if I'm here at the house and I do a private reading, I'll go ahead and do a clearing after everything's over with too, even after I shut down, even if I got my protection up, just to be on the safe side.
Well, why would he have been interested, like, in the gloves? Do you have to protect yourself with that kind of thing too?
Protect myself with what, Kat?
The gloves. He had mentioned gloves.
Well, you anything can have attachments to it, Kat.
Well, they said that we were having problems for a minute, so now we seem to be back fine. You hear me okay now?
Yeah.
Excellent. I don't know what that was, but that's an unusual thing, and it's happened twice this week. I don't know what's going on with that. And Chris
said, it up again, Kat.
Chris said that some people do wear gloves, so that's why he had brought that up. He was curious about that.
Kat, you're breaking up. I can't hear you.
Well, I don't really show a problem. And if you're in chat, let me know if you're having an issue with hearing me, okay?
Okay. Ask me the question again.
Chris just said that some people in his experience wear gloves because to protect themselves. And Brenda said skin-to-skin energy transformation or passage.
Yeah, well, is he talking about people who do readings that wear gloves?
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of I've ran into people like that too. They cannot touch anybody because of the energy.
Just like an energy transference?
Yep. It can be done. Yep.
Well, that is interesting. That wasn't something that I had really been aware of being an issue.
Yeah, I've ran into quite a few mediums that wear gloves, and that's why. At first, I thought it was a germ thing, but then they tell me, they when they touch something or somebody touches them, the energy, especially with a person, they can have an energy transfer that they don't want, especially if there's somebody that might have something wrong with them, a disease or something. They can feel that energy off of it, and they don't like it.
Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. And you had said something about when you were at cons, kind of knowing who is and who is not fraudulent.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And have you ever actually been in a situation where you felt you had to call someone out?
Yeah. I went to an event one time, and I was walking through the event, and I could go, as I passed by the different readers and things, I could feel true, not true, not true, not. And they can look at me and know that I could feel that off of them. I had a guy that was sitting at a table one time, and he was just jerking, and his eyes was rolling back, and he was doing a reading, and he was bringing in a spirit. And I stood there and looked at this guy, and he came out of it as I was standing there looking at him, and I don't know if he realized who I was or not. And he just looked me right in the eye, and I just shook my head no, and I walked away from him.
Mm-hmm.
He broke his table down and left.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I've had people I was at an event one time and I sat down with putting my table together, and people were looking at me, and as I was putting my table together, they were breaking their table down and leaving. And I looked at Siobhan and said, "Was it something I said?" She said, "You know what it is, Willie, don't you?" She said, I said, "What?" She said, "They know that you know that they're fake, and they don't want to be around here. They don't want to be called out by you." Because I will, if they're doing something to a client, and I know it's a con game, and they're going into the little spiel, I'll call them out on it. And you have these people that does readings, and they'll charge for an hour reading. They'll charge $500. Well, that's well and good, and they'll come to me, and I'll do my reading, and I'll give them sometimes they'll be there 30, 45 minutes, and I'll stay with the person until I'm done, and I'll tell them, the gift, the offering, and it'll be like $20, and they'll say, well, I have a private reading with such and such, and they charge me, $500 for the hour. Well, that's, if you want to give them that, that's fine. And they said, well, you give me more of a reading than they do. I said, it's up to the person you go to. If you want to give, who you trust. And that's what it boils down to.
Well, it is. And, one of those $500 readers invited me to do a reading with them. And I was okay with that. I wasn't paying $500. But because I had questions about the validity of their calling, So, but the deal was that you do that and, it's done privately. I don't want showboating or anything like that just because you think it'll get you publicity and conversation or whatever. And they completely didn't follow any of the guidelines that I said I wanted to follow. And come to find out, this person is, in my opinion, bogus.
Yeah.
Very good at self-promotion, very good at just, look at me, I do this and I do that. And I'm like, you don't do that. You may be that blind squirrel that finds a nut every so often, but you're not. I was very disappointed. And that being said, we've got to take a break. And while we're at the break, I'll tell you who that is, and I will ask your opinion too. So we will be back in just a minute. This is our last break. So y'all just enjoy.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, Birmingham, Alabama.